You spy the familiar sight of the alchemist.
I'm not sure what I can do for you, youngling. This is already what I read.
Oh, fantastic. That's alright, I want you to say Danny DeVito. You've discovered the lake boat. You may return and use the boat to explore the lake's interior by using the places menu.
Yay.
Ooh, boat. Back to the lake.
Okay.
Hi, Danny DeVito.
How many times are you gonna run into this guy?
It's been an hour since I saw you. Keep walking by the lake until it's time to. Oh, we got another cayenne pepper.
Nice.
We got to go back one more time, and then I believe we can just go to places and go eat the cayenne pepper. The pepper is strangely spicy but very tasty. Your mind clouds as your virgin wet vagina moistens. That's 1% straight. Despite already being in heat, the desire to copulate constantly grows even larger. You ate the first one, and then it sends you into heat, and you're like, oh yeah, I should definitely keep eating more of these. A pressure builds on your backside. You feel under your clothes and discover an odd bump that seems to be growing larger by the moment. In seconds, it passes between your fingers, bursts out the back of your clothes, and grows most of the way to the ground. A thick coat of fur springs up to cover your new tail. You now have a dog tail.
I want to see the furless tail that was briefly in existence.
No, no, I don't. Back to the lake.
Places?
Yeah, go explore. Like, we gotta go back one more time and then we can go to places. You find an odd fruit-bearing tree near the lake shore. One of the fruits is fallen on the ground in front of you. You pick it up. You place a piece of whisker fruit in your first pouch.
Whisker fruit?
Yeah.
Can we make a rule that we eat everything we get?
Sure. Okay, yeah. That's how we'll play it. Everything %. Fruit salad %.
Yeah. Fruit salad
You take a bite of the fruit and gulp it down. It's thick and juicy and has an almost overpowering sweetness. Nevertheless, it's delicious and you certainly could use a meal. You devour the fruit, stopping only when the hard nubby pit is left, which you toss aside. You feel more balanced, sure of step. You're certain that you've become just a little bit faster. Each movement feels a tiny bit easier than the last. Did you just lose weight? +2 thin.
+2 thin.
Sleep. We're not even horny enough to masturbate.
I thought we were supposed to be in heat.
Yeah, but we're in heat. Back to the lake. We keep like, we're like doing laps around the lake, and then we'll be like, hey Danny DeVito, hey Danny DeVito, and eventually we find our way to the farm. Hey Danny DeVito, how's it going? I'm working out. Thanks for keeping my lust down. Shit. Your exploration of the lakeside takes you further than you've gone before. The water here is almost completely still. Its water is crystal clear, giving you a stunning view of the lake bed. Fish dart to and fro within the water, caring little for your explorations above the waves. You watch the fish for a few minutes until you notice that you're not alone on the shoreline. Further down the sandy beach is a solitary feminine figure, her legs parted and arched. A fishing rod is held lazily in her hands. You trace the fishing line with your eyes, seeing a little piece of floatsam bobbing up and down in a fair distance into the water. You decide to approach the figure, who notices your advance. You spot her subtly shift her position, as though she's readying her body to bolt, if you turn out to be hostile, but still, she lets you approach. The closer you get, the more of her features you can make out. Her skin appears to be covered with damp brown fur. A long, thick tail sticks out from behind her, at least as wide around as her leg, narrowing down into a rounded tip. A short mop of sun-bleached blonde hair, barely reaching down to her chin, frames a human-like face with a cute, upturned button nose. Her body, which is lithe and toned like that of a champion swimmer, is covered only by a two-piece bikini. Her chest is surprisingly small, perhaps only A cups, though she looks physically mature. Identifying this person as an Otter girl, you guess larger breasts would make it harder to swim. You stop a few feet away from her. She gives you a friendly smile.
Well, hey there, friend. You don't smell like one of them demon failers.
Sandy Cheek says, with a melodic accent, reminding you of the farmer's daughters back in Ignam. Her eyes travel up and down your body.
So,
she says carefully,
you want to fish and fuck?
You can't help your eyebrow from quirking upwards. What did she say?
Fish and fuck.
She replies simply.
I fish, you fuck. You ain't that dense, are you, girl?
That's it. She doesn't even know you. She's just offering it up like that. You don't even know her name.
Slut. Name's Caillou. Don't worry, darling. I was planning on sticking nothing where it don't belong.
Her soft voice chimes.
Unlike damn near everything else around here.
Well, how about it? You aren't aroused enough to fuck her?
No.
You shake your head and explain you can't. She simply I can't! I can't!
I have a headache, I'm sorry.
She simply shrugs.
Ain't no skin off my back.
The two of you sit in silence for a little while. It doesn't feel like an awkward silence, just a serene, relaxing void of noise. The gentle lapping of water almost puts you to sleep. Eventually you stand, say your goodbyes and leave. As you're leaving, Callie shouts,
y'all come back now, here.
Oh my
you
God.
nod absently, then make your way back to camp. To the lake.
Did I get anything?
No, we didn't get anything.
I thought I got something.
Hey, Dad, do that.
I stopped thinking about Danny DeVito.
You stumble across Whitney's farm again. The orthographic canine woman gives you a friendly wave and tosses you another canine pepper. You've been to the farm enough times to simply recognize it.
Yeah.
Eat the canine pepper. The pepper is strangely spicy but very tasty. You feel quicker. Your mind clouds as your virgin wet muff moistens. Despite already being in heat, the desire to copulate constantly grows even larger. The skin on the sides of your face stretches painfully as your ears migrate upwards towards the top of your head. They shift and elongate, becoming canine in nature. You now have dog ears. So this person has dog ears and no ears on the side of their head. Let's just keep going to Whitney's place and get more canine peppers.
I'm confused. Back to the ears. Do they have two sets of ears?
No, their human ears went up on their head and grew into dog ears.
That was way less upsetting than the image I had in my head.
Just human ears and then dog ears too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that image is really upsetting. Like, honestly, when I first watched Spice and Wolf, where like if you make like a fucking character like that, you have to give them like long hair or give them curly hair that covers their human ears. Because like even with like if you only have dog ears, it kind of the human face without the human ears is unsettling as well.
The trick is to have no ears.
Yes, we found more. We found more canine peppers.
I'm just working on the farm.
Yeah,
Is that what you've been doing? This whole
You
time,
ask Whitney if
describing?
she could use help with anything, and she points towards the pepper fields.
Oh yeah. You mind gathering up some peppers for an hour or two? This is exactly like my Sandy Cheeks voice. This is uncreative.
Yeah, well, you did come up with this one first, so you place the canine pepper in your first pouch.
This is Sandy Cheeks. Okay, yeah, we got it.
The pepper strange is spicy but very tasty. You feel quicker. A second set of breasts bulges forth under your current pair, stopping as they reach C-cups. A sensitive nub grows on the summit of each new tit, becoming a new nipple.
So now we have 4 titties.
Is there a cap?
Yes, I think.
I believe it's 8? I think it would maybe 6. I only see...
I assume it would be 8.
Yeah.
I don't know how many tits you can have. Should I work more?
You find Whitney getting the scythe out of her tool shed.
Oh, I got caught up reading.
Do you know how to muck out a stable? She asks when you offer to help. You admit that you did a lot of that while growing up in your village. After passing you a rake, shovel, and pitchfork, she leads you to the milking barn. The first thing that hits you is the smell, a mingling of sweat, milk, droppings, and rotting hay. There are also probably some cows in Whitney's herd, ready for breeding. Open the door to one of the empty stalls, Whitney says. I don't get to them as often as I should. Anything you could do would help. You steel yourself, ignore your nose, and set to work. An hour later, you can stand it no more and exit the milking barn, gulping down the fresher air and dragging the tools back to their shed. You admit to yourself that Whitney is a much harder worker and has a stronger constitution than you thought. You promise yourself you'll come back and help her out some more as soon as your nose recovers. Places. Let's go back to the farm.
What did I get for the...
You didn't get anything because you didn't pick peppers. Explore. We found the big-tittied cat. There's some interesting options at the bottom of the screen. While exploring at Whitney's farm, you run across the furry Southern Belle almost immediately. She looks like she has a job for you. Whitney tells you one of her barn's residents, a cowgirl named Marble, is sore from overusing the milking machines. She asks you to go and give the cowgirl a gentler touch from a live being. You walk into Whitney's barn and head over to a series of small rooms for the cowgirls. You find Marble's room and knock on the door. A friendly, earthy female voice calls out and responds and invites you in. Inside is a rather pleasant little room. There are several shelves on the walls and a small sitting table in the corner with seating for 2. A large portion of the room is dominated by a large bed, the owner filling most of it. Lastly, you notice a mini dresser next to the bed. The room's owner looks over at you and starts, "Oh, I've never met you before." As she gets up, you are given a chance to get a good look at her. She is over 6 feet tall, with long brown hair tipped with 2 cow horns and a pair of cow ears in place of normal human ones. Rounding out her relatively unchanged face are a pair of deep brown eyes. She is wearing only a short plain skirt, so you get a full frontal view of her two HH cup assets. They look rather sore right now, with big red circles around her puffy nipples. Her hands and arms appear mostly human, save for thick-looking nails. A soft cloth brings your eyes down to...
Can I help that boner?
No, my pants were bunching up on themselves because they keep sliding down your couch.
Shitty trash couch.
Yeah.
We found this couch in the trash.
Yeah.
In a dumpster.
Yeah.
I like it a lot, to be honest.
You do?
I don't know. I can lay down on it super easy.
Oh, just because it's a big couch.
Yeah, a soft plop
It keeps
brings
us
your
crawling on the ground, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I appreciate being up off the ground.
Yeah.
Yes. A soft plop brings your eyes down to see that she is covered in thick, dark blonde fur growing from at least midway down her thighs to where human feet normally would be, in place of which are hooves. A cowtail with a bow tied on it swings between her legs. My name's Marble. What's yours? She asks you. You introduce yourself and exchange a few pleasantries before she asks how she can help you. You tell her that you actually came to help her, explaining that Whitney said she could use a gentle touch. Oh, that would be nice, she says. Spending a night connected to the milking machine was a mistake, and now I need something gentle. How will you help her? Of course, you could always turn around and resolve to avoid her from this point on, if you wanted. Our choice, we'll let you pick. Our choices are caress, suckle, and rape.
I'm gonna go.
We can also leave. There's also
walk out the room.
I was thinking about raping you, but I think I'd rather leave.
Oh my god.
You wanna
go with let's go with suckle.
Okay, suckle.
You suggest that you could gently suckle her breast to make her feel better. That sounds wonderful, she exclaims cheerfully, putting her hands under her ample mound. There is nothing I love more than giving milk to living things. You walk over to her and lean in to suck from her nipple. Your mouth is soon filled with a delicious warm fluid.
Are you implying her tits like pour syrup?
Do you pretty sure there is one that pours?
We haven't met the horse that pours the pig that milks honey out of her tits.
Yeah.
There's
a cat
over
that...
your bacon and waffles.
Yeah.
There's a cat that has beer in her tits.
Yeah.
My wife.
There is nothing.
She hangs out at the bar and just sells drinks from her tits.
We'll go to we'll go to the wet bitch later.
Yeah.
There is nothing I love more than giving milk to living things. Oh shit, I already read that. You walk over to her and lean in to suck from her nipple. Your mouth is soon filled with a delicious warm fluid, and you eagerly begin to gulp it down. As you drink, you can hear Marble sighing softly above you. Thank you, sweetie. Could you put your mouth on the other teat, too? She says after a few minutes. You eagerly comply, and just like before, the fluid fills your mouth. Your milk is easily the most delicious thing you've ever drunk. And not only that, drinking it from her breast just feels right. So right. You hear Marble sigh again, but this time it turns into a moan. Once you've had enough, you slowly pull back. You feel very satisfied with yourself, with your drink, and you can't see that Marble is quite satisfied too. She smiles at you and says, "That was wonderful. You're welcome to come and visit anytime." With that, the two of you part company. You feel an odd euphoria as you walk away from the barn. Your strength and toughness have gone up. Your HP has gone up, and your lust has gone up.